Hello and welcome to the Voice of TOD. I'm Tom, and in this video I'm going to give you my non-spoiler thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the final movie in the Guardians trilogy, or so, and probably the last we'll see of the MCU's lovable misfits. This movie was written and directed by James Gunn, thankfully, and it stars, well, everyone you'd expect at this point. All the Guardians return. Elizabeth Debicki returns as Aisha, Will Poulter is Adam Warlock, and Chikwudi Iwuji, I think he's called. I'm probably butchering that, I'm really sorry, but he is our big bad, the High Evolutionary. And an extra special shout out for my favourite Canadian, Nathan Fillion shows his ridiculously handsome face as Master Karja. Not a major role at all, but he's my captain, I've got to give him a shout out. So, let's get into it. This movie is quite long, but it's absolutely wacky and terrifying in places. Visuals, amazing soundtrack, and very tight script really kept me locked in for every moment. It plays out as a frantic journey through the galaxy as our heroes try to stop the High Evolutionary. It's an emotional finale that also leans into Gunn's horror roots and is very dark in places. That's all I'll say on the plot, other than I think it's as tight as Volume 1, but it's absolutely standing on its own. It's not propping up the wider MCU this time. This is a story focused on the Guardians of the Galaxy, where they are after the Christmas special, and basically an end to their chapter. The cast are as excellent as you'd expect. We've come to expect this now. We know they're great actors. We know the characters shine given the right script and the right directors. There's also too many of them to go through individually, so I'm just going to pick out a few of my standouts. First one, Zoe Saldana. She stands out in just about everything she does, but she's reprising her role as Mira Gamora from Endgame, and she adds that extra little twist. It's a character that we know and love, but she's playing it differently, and she does it really well. It's very nuanced in places, but it's brilliant. Bradley Cooper, again, is excellent as Rocket. I know that a lot of Rocket is down to the animation. We'll get onto that. But his voice work is just incredible. Again, as you'd expect from somebody as talented as Bradley Cooper, but it just shows how good at casting the MCU are when they get it right. The real standout, and almost the person who stole the show for me, was Chikwudi Iwuji. It's been a long time since we've had a big bad in the MCU who's given such a menacing performance, and he's full chaotic evil. He's all over the place, and it makes him just as terrifying and just as fascinating to watch on screen. It just really worked for me, and I don't know the comics. I can't speak to the origins of any of these characters in comic books or any of their storylines. All I can talk about is what I've seen on the film. Apparently the High Evolutionary was in the Guardians of the Galaxy game that I played, don't remember obviously, but I've never really seen them before, and it worked for me. Adam Warlock as well. I know a lot of people have a lot of time for Adam Warlock. I don't know Adam Warlock. I know James Gunn's Adam Warlock, and I really enjoy Will Poulter in this role. He's excellent. It's probably not what you expect, but it's very James Gunn. I can't fault anything here. Not one character drops the ball in this movie. So I touched on this earlier, and it shouldn't be to anyone's surprise that the soundtrack really helps to pull this movie across. It's excellent, and I just loved how it was mixed, and as the camera's moving through certain sets and locations, the sort of illusion of the music being played through different devices comes in. It's really well mixed, it's really good attention to detail, and again, it's what you'd expect with a James Gunn movie at this point. We also have a very similar action style to Gunn's take on the Suicide Squad from a couple of years ago, but it really fits these sequences. They're chaotic, they're fun, and the cinematography is top quality. It's probably some of Gunn's best work to date, and he's really showing off just how much he's learned over his years in Hollywood and brought everything into this movie. One thing I'm sure that you'll all be pleased to hear is that the CGI is back to blockbuster standard at the least. Rocket and his friends are jaw-droppingly good. The animations on their animal faces, the fur, it's just mind-blowing, and it helps to really create these characters and give them that emotional push when you see them and you just see the animal-like qualities come to life. The visuals are just incredible for everything in this. It's very James Gunn. It's very Guardians 1. It's very individual to his mind. It's wacky, it's stunning. I absolutely loved it. And one of the reasons that I fell in love with the first Guardians movie was the crazy sci-fi locations. Volume 3 delivers on that front. They're just nuts. Almost like they look and seem so real, it's unnerving at times. For me, this movie doesn't miss a beat, and it really doesn't disappoint. I went into the cinema with some ideas of what might happen, and I was very surprised how all of this played out. I've not seen all the trailers, but I'm really glad that what I had seen didn't give much away, just like a trailer should be. This movie is an emotional goodbye to a C-list group of heroes nobody knew about until James Gunn made them household names. And I'm so pleased that he got to close out their story how he wanted and was allowed to focus on them. This movie is about them. It's not setting up the next decade's Marvel movies, which is just, it's so nice that the studio let him do what he wanted to do, or he pushed back and made the film that he wanted to make. This is the level of quality, of care and of passion that I expect from the MCU at this point. And I've been waiting for this sequel since Endgame, so I can finally close the book on not just the Guardians of the Galaxy, who I've adored through everything, but also the MCU as a whole. For me, it's a bittersweet moment, but I'm very happy to say that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 delivered in every way I wanted, and so much more. Let me know what you thought in the comments if you've seen it yet. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to The Voice of Todd for more. And if you want some gaming content, go check out Todd Plays Games. There's loads of Let's Plays and I stream at least a few times a week over there. So if you want more of me, check out both channels, this one and the games channel. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.